This Monday morning. It's a Monday morning. And also on Saturday, we had the Ekiti election, the much anticipated governorship election in Nigeria, Ekiti. Not because it's Ekiti, but because a candidate was one time a governor in that state, and again, because it was the PDP state. And the APC clinched that election. They won that election. But wait, loads of different views concerning it. Some people had come to, some observers said, well, it was a free and fair one. Some other parties are saying it wasn't a free and fair one. It was police or joint tax invasion into the city. Well, we'll discuss that today as we continue in this morning's program. Once again, good morning to you. What we do every day as we open the program, the first segment we treat is the newspaper review. And that's what we're going to do, the exact thing we're going to do this morning. We're going to review the papers and also put a line there you can SMS us. You might not be able to call us, but you can send your SMS, and trust me, I'm going to take it during the substantive. We'll go on this break now. It's the newspaper review segment. We'll be right back.
Superdawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Welcome back. It's the newspaper review segment, and we want to start with the Nation newspaper this morning. 23 soldiers missing in Borno after attack. I don't know if I should take that story. Well, I think I need to take that story. 23 soldiers missing after attack. Well, this again, it's in the Nation newspaper. 23 soldiers and 8 trucks are said to be missing after Boko Haram insurgents ambushed a military convoy at the Bobochi Bama local government area of Borno State on Saturday. It was gathered that the military, acting on intelligence, mobilized troops in a convoy of 11 trucks to clear the insurgents from the village. The insurgents are believed to be those who escaped ongoing military offensive on the fringes of Sambisa Forest and the Lake Chad region. The insurgents are believed to those who escaped, during this time. A military source told News Agency of Nigeria that only 3 of the 11 trucks returned to their base in Maiduguri. So where are they? This is disturbing. We also have this: 3 million IDPs face food insecurity. The United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, that's the UNOCHA, has said an estimated 3 million displaced persons face critical food and nutrition insecurity in the Northern East. The OCH, in its humanitarian situation report for June, said no fewer than 1.7 million persons have been displaced in the last 9 years. And so where are they going to be? I don't know. I don't understand. No wonder there is insecurity, food insecurity in that place. We also have in the papers this morning how Ekiti governorship election was won and lost. And I'll take some of the writers here. It says, Fayemi promised to restore values. Buhari governors, Tinubu, others hail the governor-elect. We have Olushola for tribunal as PDP kicks. Saturday's victory of the All Progressive Congress candidate Dr. Kayode Fayemi came from a combination of factors and the performance of the key party leaders in their strongholds. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, declared Fayemi winner with 197,459 votes. His closest rival, Professor Kola Olushola of the People's Democratic Party, got 178,121 votes. Well, we're going to be doing that today, so let's let that be. We're going to do that in the substantive this morning. Osun APC to pick governorship candidate by direct primaries. And the writer says NGOs, others urge NWC to adopt direct primaries. We also have in the nation, before we move away from the nation, we have this: off-grid power supply will bridge Nigerians' energy deficits. You need to read more. And you get the picture story of the victory dance. There was a victory dance. The Ekiti State Governor-elect Kayode Fayemi addressing his supporters after being declared winner on Saturday election in Ado-Ekiti yesterday. There's a picture story there. You get hold of the Nation newspaper and enjoy the story. Away from the Nation newspaper this morning, we take some stories from the New Telegraph, and it says Ekiti governorship polls, Buhari EFCC go after Fayose. And the writer says, presidency, governor is a thug. And agencies say, we will prosecute him for draft. We have this from Professor Olushola, heads to tribunal, INEC. Security operative dropped us, PDP. OBJ, Tinubu to Fayemi, be magnanimous in your victory. Governors, Kalu, Saraki Hills, Fayemi. We have how the battle was won and lost. And finally, I'll take this before we move into some other stories. Fayose, Olushola, what next after October 16th? Still in the New Telegraph, we have the China's oil firm to invest $3 billion in Nigeria. We have 4 policemen killed, burnt inside patrol van. And the writer here says, expect us soon. Robbers right Lagos communities. Finally, we do want to take here, 2019 election. Again, Okotie joins presidential race. Get hold of the New Telegraph so you can read more. Away from the New Telegraph, we'll take a look at let's take a look at the Punch this morning, and it says PDP rejects Fayemi's victory, says it's a daylight robbery. And the writer says EFCC to Fayose, we're expecting you soon. Well, this very interesting picture story with the France team and the trophy says world hails France win. What a glorious day. Ekiti governor-elect vows to pay workers' salaries arrears in 6 months. Reps to panel to question Obasanjo, Jonathan, others over Abacha loot. We have custom officers killed 2 colleagues in Lagos. And the writer says 12 Nigerian students who face trial for cybercrime in Benin Republic. Troops missing after Boko Haram attacks military base. And finally, London Arbitration Court award $680 million against Wale Tinubu's firm. Get hold of the Punch this morning so you can read more. Away from the Punch, we take the last paper this morning, and that's the Daily Trust. House panel to meet Buhari, Obasanjo, Jonathan over Abacha loot. I think I need to get the story here. The House of Representatives and the ad hoc panel investigating spending of Abacha loot will meet President Muhammadu Buhari and former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Goodluck Jonathan, over the matter, Daily Trust has learned. The 11-man panel constituted last week will meet Buhari and the former president in their residence instead of inviting them to the National Assembly. It was for the land. The panel will invite some key government officials, including the Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, and Finance Minister Kemi Adeosun, to get accurate update on loot recovery and how much has so far been spent on various court processes by the federal government. We have here Total Mobile orders yet to remit 6 trillion oil revenue. The House of Representatives ad hoc committee investigating revenue leakages in the Department of Petroleum Resources at the weekend said about 6 trillion from gas sales and royalties is yet to be remitted to the Consolidated Revenue Fund by all major operating in the country. According to the chairman committee, Jarigba Agbom, PDP Cross River, the leakages were the result of the faulty production sharing contract, that's the PSC, which gives room for the oil firm to freeze Nigerian of billions of naira revenue. We have this, Ekiti, how we use entertainment to check violence. The New Generation Girls and Women Development Initiative said it used entertainment under the Vote Not Fight campaign to dissuade youth from engaging in electoral violence and other malpractices in the last Saturday election, governorship election. Okay, how they used entertainment to check violence. This is not a pleasant news on a Monday morning. We've been having loads of it before now, but I'll take that story. Another Nigerian killed in South Africa. Barely 24 hours after the visit of South African president to Abuja, a Nigerian national, Mr. Martins Obuzume, was shot dead by unknown gunmen in the country. The president of Nigerian Union in South Africa, Adetola Olubola, said the victim was killed in Johannesburg around 7:30 p.m. on July 12. Well, I have to pause here because this is getting too many. I don't know if our government is really looking at the details and statistics of those killed in South Africa. I'm talking about Nigerians killed in South Africa. This is getting too many, and I think we need to do something urgently about it. It doesn't matter the relationship. We're losing loved ones, we're losing relatives, we're losing Nigerians in South Africa. I don't know why the South are used to this. But I know that those living there, residents in there, had always said that the South are a bit lazy, and you know Nigerians can be hardworking people. So the envy is what some people thought is causing this. And I think our government, our ambassador, we need to look into this. You can't just keep killing, shooting, and every time they put it on the papers and saying unknown man. I mean, we should get to the root of it. When the president came to Abuja recently, I don't know what the discussion was, but I think that should be one of those very silent discussion that will have been, you know, they'll have had. Killing Nigerians anyhow, I don't know what is happening. You go to Dubai, every time you hear that they are killing Nigerians, are we not important? I think government needs to really look into these killings and take drastic actions. We have this also in the Daily Trust. We have Ekiti, take action against vote buying. The incidence of vote buying and voters' inducement during elections undermines political legitimacy and makes a mockery of democracy. The Youth Initiative for Advocacy Group and Advancement said, even as it calls for stiff action against the practice. I don't understand this new practice we hear of. And if you think, if you went to Ekiti during the election, you can call in when we discuss it, when the time calls for it. We need to know from you what really your experiences were. We have a guest that will talk more. He was there, and maybe when that segment comes, we'll talk more on that. Dawn warns federal government over poor implementation of SDGs. a senior lecturer in the Department of Environmental Geology, the Federal University in Kebbi, Dr. Ali Bakari, has warned the federal, state, and local governments over poor implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, with its 17 Sustainable Development Goals in the country. Dr. Bakari said if the nation must avoid the mistake of the Millennium Development Goals, which it failed to realize by the end of 2015, science and technology research and innovation are critical to implementing the SDGs in Nigeria. So we should look at it. Also in the papers we have Saraki should tell where he belongs, APC says. I thought Saraki is still in APC, but AP is saying Saraki should tell where he belongs. Is it double-faced? I don't know. But we have this: gunmen kill 4 policemen in Edo, cut away guns. Finally, from the Daily Trust this morning, we have another Nigerian killed in South Africa. We've taken that story. Well, that's where we end this segment of the program. Up next, we want to look at Ekiti election update. We saw the governor-elect, Dr. Kayode Fayemi. And we're going to be talking about how that election went. We're going to be telling you, maybe open the phone lines for you to tell us if you went there, what really happened there. But let's go on a break. We'll be right back with our guest. Welcome back, where we want to look at update Ekiti election and what happened in Ekiti State. Well, that election, I said, perhaps can be one of the most anticipated election where you saw the former governor of the state, that's Dr. Kayode Fayemi, contested that election. Remember that in 2014, he was knocked off, and the governor Fayose took over. But this time around, it turned the other way around in that contest. We saw, we brought to you a lot of things yesterday, on Saturday in our station, where the crowd even has a dense time during that jubilation in Ekiti State. But today, this morning, we have our guest in the studio. But before the guest, Blessed is joining me.
Yeah, good morning, Vera.
Good morning to you, Blessed.
It's so good to be on Superdawn this morning again. And after the weekend, we saw what happened down in the Ekiti State. The people have actually decided, and Governor Dr. Kayode Fayemi actually won the election. And I just want to hope that those who are grieving concerning the election, we just have to take it in good faith.
Well, but I must tell you, Blessed, is what they call tribunal. If you don't like what happened, well, the governor, the candidates of the PDP will go through the tribunal.
Yeah.
It's a normal thing they do.
Yeah, so it's
but I have to introduce my guest. I just pushed him on. I want to introduce my guest this morning. We have Ekiti indigene in the house and a financial consultant in the house, Olu Ipasile. I hope I got that again.
Olu Apanishile.
Olu Apanishile, Ekiti name.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Vera.
Good morning, sir.
Happy to be here once again.
Okay. Well, looking at that election, fortunately, you were there and you casted your vote. Can you tell us about what happened?
It's like, I will take it from where it stopped. Instead, people have decided.
Yes.
People have spoken. You remember in 2014, when there was a change of government, the same thing happened. People were tired of some things about Dr. Kayode Fayemi
at that
and
time
they voted against him. But they now realize that that they were thinking about then, his own regime was even better than the one they faced in the last 4 years. Let's be frank with ourselves. So that is why people came en masse and voted in favor of him. But even you can even see the close margin. I was even surprised. I was expecting huge gap. But at least people have spoken and they have voted for the right candidate of their own choice.
Okay, in the morning, during the registration in the morning, what happened? Lots of people said they saw tax joint force in there and it was frightening. Is that true?
It was like that in 2014 when President Goodluck Jonathan was in power as the PDP president, and my governor now, Governor Ayodele Fayose, was about contesting for the second time.
Yes.
There was a joint task force, military came, police came, and that was exactly what happened. That wasn't a mistake, because when it is a singular election for each state, the best bet is to put all your machinery in that state. Because and change of power, when you have an incumbent governor in another party and another powerful person coming from another party, then you should be the security people should be expecting some, how do I put it, shake up. But by the time people saw the police, even 3 days before the election, they saw the police, they saw the joint task force, everybody, that's why the election was the most fairest and peaceful election I've ever witnessed in my state.
Okay. Looking at this election and looking at, lots of people also said that there was a federal might. Do you understand what that means?
Yes.
Federal might in that state.
And it was in 2014.
It was sending fear into people's spine. Is that?
All those are just, how do I put it? They are just other factors that are not the real factors. You know, there are some other things that you may consider that they are not even necessary. If they said there was, on Saturday, federal might behind Governor Kayode Fayemi, there was also federal might behind my governor now, Governor Ayodele Fayose in 2014. So what are we talking about?
Now, I'll quickly ask you this now. Looking at it all, your overview perception about the election, the 30,000 policemen that was sending down there, will you want to say that this election was free and fair?
In the whole world, I have voted in England before. We use pencil to vote. You just tick. Despite that, people are still criticizing up to today that they should be using pen. The last time, our party, Labour Party, told us that we should be using pen. That there's, I mean, only that they won't say it outside the way we project bad news more than good news in Nigeria. Likewise, when something is about 80% okay, you say it is fair. You can't have 100% because you are not God. We can't say plus or minus. If somebody is going to a tribunal that, okay, maybe somebody voted twice, it will happen in your own party, it will happen in another party. But we are saying that this is the fairest in the history. If you have scored 80%, I mean, we should have peace for once. Now, with Ekiti election, now what do you think we should expect in 2019? Do you see any connection of any link of a free and fair election come 2019? Yes, but in another direction. Just because we don't have, APC doesn't have opposition as we speak today. PDP is supposed to be the real opposition, but you can see they're forming an alliance, and we don't know what is going to happen in the next 10 months. We are having 10 months to the election, and you are going to cover 36 states. I was laughing last week, because the machinery has to go into all the states. It's not about you. And another thing, I listened to Shifulu Olufalaye. He said, don't let your individual ambition to destroy this coalition. You should wait for that. Okay, well, looking at this, the PDP had rejected this victory for Fayemi. They said this is a daylight robbery. Do you think truly it's a daylight robbery? As I've spoken before, there's no robbery. It is one man, one vote. However, it is their own right to go and seek redress if they think and they have concrete evidence why it was. What I mean by daylight, either they are putting gun on your head, it's under duress. There was nothing like that. Okay, but do you know that I voted in the local government, and everybody. What local government did you vote? Ijiro local government, okay. Ekaman Ward. We voted and it was so peaceful. We even knew that, okay, fine, because people were jubilating. You should know, that's why it's good to be on ground. It's not that you'll be in Lagos and you'll be discussing about Ekiti. You have to be on ground and see what happened. It is not about politicians to shout foul that, oh, no, because everybody wants to be a winner. Okay, but SDP lost Ekiti poll also, and they said because they didn't buy votes, that's why they felt they didn't win. What about this buying of votes and giving of monies during election? Maybe that's, well, I'm not a politician and I don't buy votes, but what I can say is that they do, there's some people who call canvasser. It's all over, even in the UK. You go from house to house. If I can convince you to come and vote for my party. With envelopes, with monies? Well, I don't know what I don't know what I can use to convince you. If it's a word of mouth that I can use to convince you, so be it. Is it good for democracy? And if you want Coca-Cola, a bottle of Coca-Cola for me to convince you, so be it. Those are the, because it's not that maybe the thing is not open. We are contesting for a particular position. I will use all avenue to get my people behind me. You to use your avenue to get your people behind you. But is this healthy for democracy? Where to talk to people to vote for them? Not talk to people. Beyond that, where you give monies or you give bags of rice, where you give all of these things. Is it healthy for democracy? Maybe I should take it up from that place. Okay. Now, for example, if you want to vote tomorrow, are you expecting somebody to be on queue without a bottle of mineral or ice? What? I don't understand. Because most of the things we discuss, we know that people are doing it. They call it mobilization. Like me now, you can't buy a bottle of Coke for me. But for 18 years, let's say 18-year-old girl who want to go and vote, and they say, you are a member of our party, because you are going to be in the sun for 5 hours. This is a bottle. Okay, they are not buying it. They are not buying over her life with a bottle of Coca-Cola. Are they not buying away their future? Anyway, away from that, what are the things that made Ekiti people decide not to vote Professor Olusola in? What are the things? What are the things you saw? I will quickly take it from 2014. Yes. While the governor-elect now lost then. Okay. They said, number one, he was doing promotional exam that is going to send people off. Number two, is member of his cabinet.
Okay, I'll hold you on there. Let me just open the phone line so that people can call. Well, the lines are open now. You can call, make your contributions. Let's hear from you. If you went to Ekiti to cast your votes, let's hear from you. And if you've heard everything happening in Ekiti, we also want you to call in. Yes, go ahead.
Secondly, he chose his cabinet. They said he brought them from abroad. You know when he's abroad, that Ekiti in Lagos, that he didn't consult. Then they never consulted the elders that who are those people, and they said he's not a grassroots person, that he doesn't eat amala, he doesn't eat groundnut with them on the road. I think he has learned his own lesson now. When this our governor now, because he's still going to be our governor till the next 2 months, so he's still my governor, Governor Ayodele Fayose came in. He too changed his own style from what it used to be. Now he's owing 8 months' salary. Now, in my own local government, there's
when you say what it used to be, what
do you mean by that?
It used to be a grassroots person. In fact, in the past, all the principals and headmasters, he bought cars for them for long service award, but they suffered this time around.
Okay.
Okay, quickly, we have a call from Alabado.
Yusuf, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
This is my contribution, please.
Yes, go ahead.
I am not a politician, but I'm a Nigerian. I don't belong to any party, but I'm interested in the peace and comfort of all Nigerians. The elections taking place in Nigeria now is a bad news. It's a bad news. I watch Ekiti election live. I am not interested in any candidate, but we just want this thing to be free and fair. We watch it live. They arrested some people, giving money to people that are voting. We did not hear anything about those arrested. We did not hear anything about vote buying. We did not hear how they ended the case. And somebody is sitting down here talking about if the election is free and fair. We are really afraid of what is going to happen in 2019. But I'm an evangelist. We have no guns. We have no police that we are going to, call to help us. But we have God who will pray. Anybody that wants to rule Nigeria by force, God will uproot them. We want peace in this nation. It's not a do or die affair. But I don't blame people that are buying votes. I blame people that poverty is their surname. They don't want to be free.
You need to wrap it up so we allow
giving you 6,000 naira. What can 6,000 naira do for you in eternity? Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. You want to react to what
No, I just want to, because that's normal.
Yes.
If you are not part of if it is not your state, everybody wants the best. But coming from where we're coming from, we should know that that's why I said this is fairness.
Okay.
We've not had people dying. Maybe she's not aware, because if you say you are not a politician, it's easy for you to criticize somebody on the screen. We have not recorded casualties. That is our own prayer when we're going for that election. That God save Ekiti. Those of us will remember 1983 when the operation went, all of those, they killed so many people. But you can see that when we say fairness, it doesn't mean that there's some shaking, even in the examination, even in the churches that we're talking about today. Even the sin that God said they should not commit, people are still committing. Does that mean that church is not clean? No. We are not, as Frankie said, we are not talking about 100% here. We are talking about 80% okay. Then we can now migrate from 80% to perfection. Okay,
you were explaining why you thought he lost.
Now,
PDP lost.
He was owing 8 months' salary. In my own local government, he did nothing. And I will begin to mention it. Ijeru local government, where we have a Kameta, where we have the Ijeru, where we have a Cameroon. The Cameroon comprises of Okioro, Iroko, Ayebule, Temidire, and Iloko. The guy did nothing, not even a single road. During Fayemi, he has each community, about 100 villages and towns. Give me 3 projects you want me to do. All of them can point to it today. I don't want you to
why was he voted out then?
He said because he was doing provisional exam, he was not relating to them on the field, and he didn't choose his cabinet across the 16 local government fairly.
But this 2018 election was not really about Fayose himself. It was about Olushola and Fayemi.
Thank you very much. That was the question I missed the other time when you raised the question. The godfatherism is still in Nigerian politics. In fact, This politics that we're talking about today, if you remove Governor Fayose from the equation, then there's nothing.
There's another call. I'm going to hold you on the edge, Dapo, from Ibutemeta. Dapo, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Dapo Williams from Ibutemeta. Now, I want to talk about people who claim to be fighting corruption. And they are even arresting people for, they say, election fund. And today, they are buying votes, giving 5,000 naira. Was it the National Assembly who appropriated that for them? To be giving 5,000 to buy votes. And they claim to be fighting corruption. Another thing is that even if this is true, that the election results at the various units signed by INEC at the various units, which are the authentic results, that when they got to the collation center, both the INEC, the security operatives started chasing away certain agents of a particular party, political parties, and they had to declare another result to declare for a main winner. But the PDP said they are going to court. But what am I saying? That you have a government that is fighting corruption, and you have Ade Osun with his certificate forgery of NYSC, and over 2 weeks now they have not even said anything. You have the case of Okoye Obla.
We are doing Ekiti election, and I wanted us to just go.
No, that's on Ekiti. That I am trying to link that with this government, that they are indulging in this kind of thing.
Were you there?
And they claim to be fighting corruption.
Were you there?
And it's to tell you that, for God's sake, what we are going to see in 2019, Nigerians must be prepared.
Okay,
so,
thank you for calling. I thought that we went to Ekiti because we must be sure. But we're looking at Ekiti and we're expecting more people to call in. Yes?
Yes, still on Professor Eleka. Professor Eleka is not a politician.
You said godfatherism is creeping in.
Exactly. That's why I wasn't mentioning his name. That was the candidate, the real candidate for PDP. Yeah. I was mentioning Fayose versus Fayemi because that was in Ekiti. We believe that this is your anointed son, and it's your backing, it's your popularity that the guy is leaning on. He's a professor, he's an academician, he's just like a technocrat, come and serve in my government. I don't know what happened within, I'm not a PDP member, what happened, and they said, okay, fine, they are going to be the next governor. So we are not seeing him as a political figure.
Why are you not seeing him that way?
I said somebody is a technocrat, somebody has not been in politics for long. It's a matter of you come and serve and go. I don't even expect him to say you want to take over the government. Because in politics, I think they have their own field, they have their own arena. It is different from you being a professional and a consultant in your own area. So that's why, even when you get it is Fayemi versus Fayose that you'll be hearing. Okay. Even a friend of mine.
Dimeji is on the line. Sorry about that. Dimeji, good morning to you.
Hello.
Good morning to you.
Hello.
We can hear you. Good morning.
Hello.
Dimeji, I'm nodding my head. Good morning to you.
Hello.
Dimeji, you are on. Okay. Yes.
So Ekiti people are not saying Eleka as a political figure, but they are looking at the present governor as the one behind the scene. So it is the game is like Fayose versus Fayemi.
But we saw in the Ekiti state where permit me to say the outgoing governor had to go street by street, trying to connect with people from the grassroots and all that, and we were expecting that with all that the people are going to give in their full support to the PDP. And then again, we expect that true politics must start from the grassroots. So I want to ask, why is there a disconnect with the outcome of this election? Well,
that's why I have to be very, very fair to you. I wasn't there. And that's why when people are saying this is what happened in Ekiti.
Quickly before you continue, let's take this call. Okay. John is on the line.
John, good morning to you.
Good morning.
John, good morning.
Yes. This is John from Akoka. I want to comment on the INEC election at Ekiti State. My own comment is that I feel that election was rigged.
Okay.
Remember, nearly 48 hours before this election, some PDP districts in that state were arrested, according to what we read in newspaper. And looking at the results, 179,459 APC votes plus 178,114 PDP votes equals 375,573. And INEC published 316,019 as the total vote casted.
No, you need to get those figures again. So I think there's a mix-up here. Can you say the figures again?
50,000 were not out.
John.
And Ado Ekiti, he said, Ekiti or whether he said Oron Ekiti results were not published. Why? I think PDP should fight this illegality. That is what I want to say. Okay, I am not a party person. I don't support PDP. I don't support APC. I am after good governance.
Okay,
but I think
you,
PDP
John.
should really look into this result published by INEC very well and do the mathematics.
Maybe I need to read out the
figures again.
Not 179, not 197.
It's loads of figures came in that Saturday and even yesterday from the social media. Loads of different figures came in, but I must get this corrected here. So when we're talking, we'll be sure of which one we're talking about. For the APC, it's 197,459 APC, and for the PDP, we have 178,121 votes. So we shouldn't get it mixed up. I think loads of different figures is coming in, but this is the one that INEC pushed in. Yes, you can continue with this question.
Your question again?
The disconnect.
Why the disconnect?
Yes. Like, I always tell people that if you are not there, you will quote what you think you had. There are a lot of things that happened. I was told that the governor has opened the gate of government house, asked them, all of them, the commercial buses and commercial drivers or other people to come and park inside to collect 10,000 naira so that they won't participate. The following morning, they won't participate in the rally.
Yes.
The following day, you underpaid them. That's what I had. I'm not saying I was there. So that one, then if somebody is owing your mother or your father 8 months salary, whether you come here to greet you in the morning or sit down with you, you know that, it won't work the second time. That is serious. Or in my own local government that I just mentioned, that he did nothing. I mentioned, you cut me off there, that during Fire Me, please quote me and quote my name. Go there and check in all Ekiti villages and towns. Three projects. It's either the the King's Palace, it's either the town hall, it's either the renovation of classrooms of the primary school, the secondary school, the health center. Each. I don't know why they voted him out. That was the question I was asking them. When you knew all this, why did you now voted against him? They now say he was doing promotional exam, he wasn't like a grassroots person, but they've seen it all now.
Do you think he has learned his lessons with what happened?
Well, I know.
You think, okay, there's another caller. Oji.
Let's quickly take this call.
Oji, good morning to you. Oji.
This is Timothy. I didn't say Oji. T-I-M-O-T-H-Y. Timothy.
Go ahead.
Noted. Please go right ahead.
Okay, I think they are going to knock it off. Yes. Timothy, good morning.
Timothy.
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Go ahead, Timothy.
Yes. From Oshodi.
Okay.
We're waiting for you.
Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead with your contribution.
Is Timothy still there? Okay.
Hello? Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello, yeah. What I want to say concerning the election that happened at Ekiti, the day before yesterday, was that certainly I don't belong to any political party, but I foresee it as part of what is going to happen in 2019, which is distrust in the part of the masses. Certainly, we view that that election was rigged. It is an issue that has got to do with the federal might. It's a sign of the dishonesty of the federal government of what is happening, what is going to happen at the federal level in 2019. The masses are beginning to lose confidence in the political class. They enshrine their property upon the masses, and now they are trying to enshrine dishonesty onto the masses when it comes to the issue of election. Fayemi, for all what we know, has never been a good manager of the state. But because of the federal mind that he has now been able to acquire, that was certainly what was used.
Okay.
They have to 2019, even though they are failing to trust in the electoral process.
Okay, thank you, Timothy. Thank you for your contributions. Yes, but I asked, do you think this election will serve as what is to happen? They asked you earlier when it came in 2019. You think, because I have to tell you what Lai Mohammed said, Minister for Communication, he said that Fayemi's victory referendum on Buhari's performance was an indication that Nigeria will accept President Muhammadu Buhari. Do you think Nigerians will accept President Muhammadu Buhari come 2019 with what you have seen?
Chief Lai Mohammed is a politician and he has right to his own opinion. My opinion, I've said it, the reason why Buhari will be accepted come 2019 is that the opposition party, they are just starting very late. 10 months to the general election is too close.
Then we have to wrap up this segment.
Again. If you have solid opposition party, by now you would have seen the flag, the machineries all around. So it's not about maybe Lai Mohammed talking about it. It's about even we voters, you, who is the next candidate that want to contest with Buhari?
We don't know yet. Okay, but in rounding off this segment, in rounding off this, because someone else is going to be joining us, in rounding off before you leave, tell us the lessons politicians, electorate need to, the lessons you think they need to get from what happened in Ekiti State. In rounding off.
Yes, that was a question that he asked me too. Okay. He said maybe former governor have learned his lesson. Number one, you have to be closer to your people.
Okay.
Number two, you have to deliver what you promised them. Yes, there's no third time. I keep telling people since yesterday, there's no third time for him. But peradventure, he may still want to go for senatorial position in future. You have to get closer to your people. You have to satisfy your people.
I have to take this last caller. We've been keeping from Lawansin. Good morning to you, Babalola. Good morning to you. Okay, that's okay.
So that is my advice for the present governor-elect and other politicians. Keep to your promise. If you don't promise people, they will wait the next 4 years and they will use their PVC rightly.
Okay, I want to thank, he's a financial consultant, Ekiti Indigene, Olu Akbanisile. Thank you so much for coming on this segment of the program. But we invite you someday so we can talk more on that. Thank you so much. Well, we'll go on this break. Someone will be joining us in the same topic. We'll be right back.
Superdawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed. Now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Garlic contains a compound called allicin, which has potent medicinal properties. Garlic is a plant in the allium onion family. It is closely related to onions, shallots, and leeks. It grows in many parts of the world and is a popular ingredient in cooking due to its strong smell and delicious taste. This compound is known as allicin and is also responsible for the distinct garlic smell. Allicin enters the body from the digestive tract and travels all over the body where it exerts its potent biological effect. Garlic is a plant in the onion family, grown for its cooking properties and health effect. Garlic supplementation is known to boost the function of the immune system. Studies show that a daily garlic supplement reduced the number of colds by 63% compared with placebo. Cardiovascular diseases like heart attacks and strokes are the world's biggest killers. High blood pressure or hypertension is one of the most important drivers of these diseases. Human studies have found garlic supplementations to have a significant impact on reducing blood pressure in people with high blood pressure. Effects on longevity are basically impossible to prove in humans, but given the beneficial effect on important risk factors like blood pressures, it makes sense that garlic could help you live longer. The fact that it can fight infectious disease is also an important factor because these are common causes of death, especially in elderly people with dysfunctional immune systems. Garlic has known beneficial effects on common causes of chronic diseases, so it makes perfect sense that it could help you live longer. Garlic was one of the earliest performance-enhancing substances. It was traditionally used in Asian cultures to reduce fatigue and enhance the work capacity of laborers. The last one is not the health benefit, but still important. It is the fact that it is very and easy to include garlic in a current diet. It complements most savory dishes, particularly soups and sauces. The strong taste of garlic also adds a punch to otherwise bland recipes. Garlic comes in several forms, from whole cloves and smooth pastes to powders and supplements like garlic extract and garlic oil. The minimum effective dose for therapeutic effect is 1 clove eaten with meals, 2 or 3 times a day. However, keep in mind that there are some downsides to garlic, such as bad breath. The active compound allicin only forms when garlic is crushed or cleaved when it is raw. If you cook it before crushing it, then it won't have the same health effects. The best way to consume garlic is raw, or to crush it and cut it and leave it out for a while before you add it to your recipes. Garlic is going to provide you relief from that stubborn cold and flu. Yes, they absolutely love you and never want to leave. Taking 2 to 3 cloves of raw or cooked garlic a day, or sipping some garlic tea with a touch of honey or ginger to lift up the taste, is not only going to relieve a stuffed nose and cure the cold, but also build your immunity against these frequent visitors over the time. Garlic is one of the best kept medicinal treasures of the past era. It has been used as an antibiotic to treat bacterial, fungal, and parasitic infections for the last 7,000 years. Studies suggest diluted garlic extract help children with tapeworm infections. A garlic-based mouthwash may not sound like fresh, minted bread, but a very small quantity of its extract is sufficient to ward off cavity-causing bacteria. The invigorating properties of garlic protecting the skin from the effect of free radicals and slows down the depletion of collagen, which leads to loss of elasticity and aging skin. Applied topically, garlic does wonders to skin infected with fungal infections and provides relief from skin ailments like eczema. It also has an effective remedy for fungal infections like athlete's foot and ringworms. All of us know about the wonders of onions for air, but its brother, garlic, is no less of a hero for your thinning mane. Well, at surprise time, rubbing crushed garlic extract on your scalp or massaging with garlic-infused oil is known to prevent and even reverse hair loss.
Welcome back. Joining us, we have Prince Bayo Oshiemi. He was the former chairman of Old Mushin local government and a politician. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You're welcome, sir, to Superdawn.
Thank you.
We saw what happened in Ekiti State. We want to know your take. What do you think happened there? Your take with that election?
The governorship election took place in Ekiti. Voters came out to vote. The votes were counted, and the prescribed authority to pronounce on the outcome of the election did its duty, and a new governor has been elected. That's what I saw happened in Ekiti.
Okay, we saw Professor Olushola lost to that election. What are those things indicates? Those things that indicates why he lost the election?
Well, in my view, and a well-considered view, the professor lost because he was marketed by a bad producer. Professor Olushola could be the best material Ekiti can come up with. Unfortunately, as at the time he was being marketed, he was politically an unknown quantity. He could be a genius in his professional realm, but in the politics of that state and of this country, he was an unknown quantity. If he had been elected, he could have come up to become an undiscovered expert, just being discovered. But the truth of it is that it was not that man, in my view, that lost that election. It was his sponsor that lost the election.
Why do you think the sponsor lost the election?
Starting from base, I'm told Ekiti State civil servants are being owed 8 months' salaries. They include young men and women. They include married people. They include the elderly. All this category of workers, we have at least 5 dependents. If you multiply the number of civil servants you have in Ekiti State that are being owed several months' salaries times 5, you will discover that virtually every home in that state had been badly subjected to varying degrees of inconveniences. You don't expect such victims to come and humor or honor their tormentor with their votes. That is 1. 2, somebody in the position of a president and a governor must be an exemplary example. There is a minimum level of behavior below which such people should not descend. When it comes to the scale of morality, the outgoing governor's utterances on the sitting president or even on the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, to me, lacks decorum. And God save this country if we are now going to start electing into office people whose public and moral conduct are suspect.
Okay, so let me still on the Ekiti election now. We've seen federal might played out here. Let's talk going back to 2014 when the PDP was in power at the federal level, and we saw the outcome of our, what brought in Fayashe, which is the outgoing governor to Ekiti State. Now we also see now that the APC still at the federal level, and one might want to say that the federal might has played out here in this election. I'd like to ask you that, looking forward now, do you think that is the way to go in subsequent elections in the country?
Well, first of all, there is no evidence that the president of the country, his deputy, the service chiefs, the security heads voted in Ekiti. If any of them voted, they must have been citizens of Ekiti State who registered to vote in Ekiti. So, to me, talking of federal might, I think is just semantic. Maybe what you are trying to say is that because in 2014, the candidate that won was or belonged party in power at the federal level, and that the candidate that won this time around also belongs to the party in power at the federal level. But even then, that will not wash. Somebody was raising an alarm that 30,000 policemen were deployed to Ekiti for last Saturday's election. The alarm was sounded to think that it had never happened before. But somebody also countered soon after that publication in the social media that in PDP's Jonathan's time, 75 policemen were deployed to a state for an election. So, if another government and another party deployed 30,000 policemen, I don't see why there should be any hoopla. Now, comparing 2014 and 2018, the menace of herdsmen maiming and killing all over the country did not spread.
I'm going to hold you on there, please, as a caller. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Bisi, good morning.
I'm calling back because I know the man on the screen is an elderly man. And I know when an elderly man is in the country, definitely they see what the younger generation cannot see. I agree. Nobody is good in this world. All politicians, don't tell me any politician in Nigeria is good. Dr. Fayose may be bad, but why can't we allow the electorate to decide? Why must they use force? Why must they beat up the sitting governor? During the time of Jonathan, you may say they supported Fayose, that was why he won. But it was not in record that they arrested any opposition party or they beat anybody or they harass anybody. So I think it's high time politicians should please allow the people of Nigeria to choose whomever they want. Let's keep during election. If they choose back.
Okay. BC, thank you so much. You've gotten that. Yes, you want to react to what BC said.
My reaction to what the caller just said is simple. He may not be a practicing politician, but from the comments she made, definitely she is politically inspired to make that statement. The truth of it is that whoever that caller is, I want to believe that she's very well educated, she's a genius in her choosing field, but the problem is that if tomorrow she decides to come into politics and she decides to do something that is proper, she will be immediately blackmailed. You are a politician. Now, I cannot see where the electorate of Ekiti were denied from voting. Otherwise, which votes did they count? For a winner to emerge, for a loser to emerge. The truth of it is that, as I was saying before, the menace of herdsmen rampaging the country was not this severe, especially in Yoruba land, especially in Ekiti State. Now, there is evidence that between Ekiti and Ondo states, some prominent Nigerians, including a one-time secretary to the federal government of this country, was kidnapped, his farm rampaged, vandalized, And in a situation like that, in a clime where this election is taking place, security awareness must be upped such that nobody is allowed to hide under headsmen's mischief to penetrate the electoral process and start killing people, queuing on the lines. I've not read that any deaths were recorded in last Saturday's election. And that to me speaks volumes that the security agencies were up and doing. They were able to rein in miscreants and toughies who might want to use the occasion of the election to kill people without reason.
Okay, I have to take this. PDP Southwest rejects these results. They blame it on the police. Do you think with what we saw was a good reason for them to say, hey, the police were the ones that made them lost that election? The fear of...
Most losers in any election in this country are bad losers. They will always find reasons to attribute to why they failed.
Why do you think they are bad losers?
They are bad losers because
I'm going to hold you on there.
Yes.
And I think this is going to be the last call so that we can have time.
Okay.
Excuse me. Hassan, good morning. Excuse me. Hassan, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Please, I want to lay emphasis on what Baba is saying. He's an elderly man. There's something I foresee. If there will be killings in Plateau, Benue, Nasarawa, all these people, and we are having 1,000 and policemen, army, 2,000, 4,000, and they want to do election where PDP is occupying presently, and you are bringing 30,000, not the police already in ECT, with new 30,000. You want to tell me that they are doing a new change in that state? They want Fayemi there. They know already they have arranged how Fayemi will be the governor of. That's why they employ 30,000 policemen with other officers. They are almost 40,000. Why they are killing people in Benue? We have 1,000. The Inspector General said, I don't have time. He did not even go. Nobody there. And you are telling me that the election is free and fair. Nothing, my brother, my sister. It's all lie. They rigged the election.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes.
Well, if an election is rigged, the electoral law provides steps that can be taken to seek redress. That is one. On the issue of the number of policemen deployed to Ekiti State, I did say a short while ago, maybe the last caller had not tuned in then, that in one regime, it is on record that 75,000 policemen were deployed to a state for an election. At that time, a PDP man was in power at the center. If another party's man, who is now in power at the center, deployed 30,000 policemen, I think rather than condemnation, it deserves to be commended.
Should we have a police, joint tax, army kind of election in Nigeria? Shouldn't we just understand that we need to cast our votes and go on? Should we continue to celebrate this kind of system?
The tragedy we have all brought on ourselves is that we are not yet developed. I lived in England, and I wouldn't see any policeman around where you are voting. You are free to go in and out to vote, but not so in this country. They are complaining about money exchanging hands. Some said one party gave 5,000, some said 7,000. First of all, whether party A or party B that did that, the two of them stand condemned in the eyes of the world and the right-thinking people of the world. Now, let us start educating ourselves about the danger of mortgaging our future for peanuts. Now, if you say you want to throw your doors open in this station you will discover that miscreants will take over your station and they can rush in to start stealing your equipment. So we have not grown in this country. And I think part of what governments at all levels in this country should do is mass education and reorientation of the citizenry. A lot of people speak out of ignorance.
Now, the international observers said that the outcome of this election would determine what the 2019 election would be like. What's your take on that?
The international observers
yes,
did say the outcome of Ekiti's election
would determine what the 2019 election Nigeria will be like.
Well, I don't know what was in their thought process. But if what I can see and deduce is anything to go by, let all the bad boys be kept off the voting arenas. Let decent people who want to vote, who want to change a bad government to a better government, come out to vote. What happened in Ekiti? People have said it's free and fair. People are talking of too many policemen. Nobody has alleged in this era of social media. Nobody has alleged or shown photographs where policemen and soldiers were voting in Ekiti. Those who kept off because of the sight of security personnel must be those with bad intention. I saw a photograph in one newspaper yesterday of a very aged man, a woman, being assisted to go to a police station, to a polling station. I am sure that if there were not sufficient security men around, some bad boys could go and attack that vulnerable woman.
Okay, in wrapping up this segment, what do you think we need to take home with in this election come 2019?
Well, take home from the election is that bad cannot triumph over good. Two, if you are talking of the dramatic personnel in this election, it is evident that one party allowed somebody with questionable character traits to take over their leadership and present a candidate who unfortunately lost, not because he is known, not because he's such a bad person, but because a professor was being marketed by, I don't know what it is.
Okay, we need to wrap it up. I want to thank Prince Bayo Oshiemi. Thank you so much. He was a politician and also a former chairman of the Old Mushin local government area of Lagos State. Thank you so much for coming on this election bad market.
Thank
you so much. Well, we'll go on this break now, and Prince will be joining for Superdawn Sports. Stay with us.
Superdawn, your daily live current affairs program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen television. Let your voice be heard. Join us. Program where topical issues that border on politics, economy, sport, and sizzling national issues are analyzed, now holds every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Superscreen television. Let your voice be heard. Join us.
Welcome back. It's sports segment, and we have Prince Will Ovieson here. Prince Will, good morning to you.
Bonjour,
and congratulations.
Bonjour, 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 Vera, bonjour.
Prince Will said France was going to win, and I said it was Croatia. But those guys tried.
Bien, bien, bien.
Tell me, how are you feeling right now? Your team won.
We won. Something came up. The resilience of the Croatian paid off. But more tactful was Didier Deschamps with the Le Blues, and we saw how it came out 4-2.
How about we saw the teenager did well?
Kylian Mbappe?
Yes, he did so well.
You see, one thing, Vera, before you go is this. Winning the World Cup is a transformation of one's life. And for that young man at 19, I think the sky is just the beginning.
Well, the guy did fantastically well at 19. My goodness. But let me allow you continue while I'll go behind the camera. Well, this is still sports segment. We'll be right back.
The first time in my life I have someone screaming, "Daddy, Daddy." And it's a little boy right there. Volim te sine najviše. He came in with the rules. He's under 5 years old, so he couldn't watch the matches live, but we were hoping that if this happens, if I hold a trophy, that he can be there to witness it. So I can't be happier. I mean, I'm very emotional for him being there, and my wife, obviously, and my whole team.
And we've seen you with young Stefan. He's been with you every step of the way out on the practice court. He hits a mean tennis ball as well.
Well, he was by far the best sparring partner I had in the last couple of weeks. No, I would just like to congratulate Kevin, because he deserves it, his team as well. He has had an incredible run. He has had quite a few hours in quarterfinals and semifinals on the court, and obviously today, he being on his first Wimbledon final, he didn't play his best for 2 sets, but in the 3rd set, he was a better player. I was just quite lucky to actually get through. So congratulations, and I really wish you all the best.
And also, the last few months you've talked very openly about how, you haven't felt confident and comfortable on court, but that's all a distant memory now.
Well, it's easy to talk now. But I had to really trust the process, and I've said this before. I mean, I had to trust in myself. I think I owe a great, I'm very grateful. I owe a great thanks to my team, to everyone who has been supporting me in the last couple of years that haven't been that easy. I had a surgery and was absent from the tour for 6 months, and faced for the first time this kind of a severe injury, and I didn't really know what's expecting me. I had many moments of doubt, and didn't know really if I could come back to the level to compete. And this was my first Grand Slam final after a couple of years.
Welcome back. That's Djokovic, the current winner of the World Building right here in London, giving vote of thanks to members of his team, and especially the son. I love what the son said. Daddy. Well, welcome to Superdawn Sports. It's no longer news that France is the current champion of the FIFA World Cup right here in Russia 2018. It was a spectacle against all odds. The Croatia came, they saw, but they didn't conquer. We want to look at who got an award right here in Russia. We'll also talk about boxing this morning and not forgetting tennis as well. I'm not alone right here. Signing in, Prince Will of Yosa, but I have Dotun Agubiade with me. Dotun, good morning.